Classic rock album reviews coming right at you.
Schmack-a-ma-god, people, here's part 2 of The Wall, my favorite album of all time. And I explained it a lot in episode 1, and I'm going to keep explaining it on this episode why this is the greatest album ever. And on this one, I will talk about my least favorite song on this album, though I still love it. But it's the one song that's a hit that I feel like, I think the rest of this album's better. We'll get to it when we get to it. And it's on this episode, so let's start. Let's go into, last time on the last song, Goodbye Cruel World, Pink, the star of this album, the rock star Pink, isolates himself from the world, doesn't want nothing to do with the world, and now we go into album 2, where it opens with Hey You. What a great, great song that is. That's not the song I'm thinking about, which is not in the movie, which is weird. It is on the extras, but not, actually they took it out of the movie, and they put When the Tigers Run Free in that other song. I forgot the name of it at the moment, which is awesome too. This song, Pink realizes he made a mistake by isolating himself to the outside world, but he doesn't know how to communicate with people outside. He tries to communicate to anyone outside the wall he built for himself. And he's given good advice to the people outside, but advice that he's not taking himself. I know it's kind of strange, right? But yeah, he's isolated himself and he doesn't want, but at the same time, he's like, man, I'm miserable being isolated. Let me reach out. But he doesn't know how, and he's telling people how to live, though he doesn't take his own advice. Hey You is amazing. What an amazing damn tune. Absolutely love it. All right, and he does ask for help, too, during the song. That goes into... Is there anybody out there, right? Is that the next song? Yes. And Pink's asking for help for, his torment of being isolated. He says, is there anybody out there, anybody that can help him? And there is a silver lining at the end when it comes to that, which I'll explain when we get there. Very important thing I want to explain at the end of this album. But yeah, I love it. And next is, oh my God, this may be my second favorite, Nobody's Home. His depression is killing him. He tries to, but he can't reach out to people, and he's watching TV as he lists his, possessions. And, I got elastic bands on my shoes. That's a reference to Syd Barrett, because Syd Barrett used to have elastic on his shoes. And also, Syd Barrett also had a Jimi Hendrix perm for a little while. So that's kind of a reference to Syd Barrett as well. And when he says satin shirts with the pinholes in, that's him describing himself. Because he used to have a shirt that had pinholes from hash when he used to smoke hash. And the last one, I don't know if it's the last one, but he does say Silver Spoon in this, and that was about Richard Wright's cocaine addiction at the time. Amazing song too. Love it. Second favorite off the album. It just grips me, man. Really, like the Michael Kamen, what he does on this album, that instrumental stuff, the classical pieces, just takes the songs to a whole new level, and really, that's what grips my soul, man. Was a combination of Pink Floyd and Michael Kamen. Unbelievable. All right, and that goes into VIERA Land. Now, this I didn't know until I did research. I always was under the impression that, because this is why this album is so special to me. I think of girls that I used to go out with, like, whatever happened to her? I think of that. Whatever happened to Elisa? Whatever happened to Debbie? Whatever happened to these girls that just disappeared from my life, Like, it's not like I want to get back with them, but I would love to know what happened to them. Where are they now? Are they happy? because I hope they are. And even though some of them ended horrible, well, there's one girl I can care less about, but that's besides the point. I do wish her well, though, but I don't want to know nothing about her. But Vera Lynn was a singer back in the day. She had a song called We'll Meet Again, which is a song that was for the troops that were going off to war. She's saying we'll meet again, like they're coming back, you know. And some of them did. Some of them didn't. Like Pink Floyd's father. Pink, the rock star Pink. His dad died in the war. So did Roger Waters' dad. So yeah, that's what that song's about. And wow, man. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like Vera Lynn. I thought it was kind of like, ugh. But then, you know, as I got older and wiser, I thought, man, this is a gorgeous song. But I never knew it was about some singer that sang a song called We'll Meet Again. I thought it was about what I was thinking. Whatever happened to this girl? We'll meet again some sunny day, stuff like that. But anyway, all right, that's a great song. Then the next one is called Bring the Boys Back Home, where that's Pink pleading his father to come back home even though his father died in the war. He just wants him back so bad. And Roger Waters said that is the centerpiece of this album, was to bring the boys back home. Where he just says that over and over again. But it's awesome. And then at the end you hear a knock on the door and it says Pink's manager saying, time to go. And you hear all this stuff going on. And then you hear, is there anybody out there? Then it goes into the gorgeous, beautiful, probably the most played song off this album, Comfortably Numb. No, it's not the song that I like the least. It's probably my third favorite on here because of David Gilmour's guitar solos, not only in the beginning, in the middle section, but at the end. In my opinion, that is the greatest emotional guitar solo ever caught on tape. Amazing. And this song, it's Pink's doctor injecting him with stuff, you know, to get him back up on stage. Want him to get up on stage, and Pink's trying to talk to his doctor, and at first he's like, you know, telling him about his childhood, how, you know, he caught a fever, his hands felt like two balloons, and then he says, well, it's not like me at all, and kind of changes the subject and doesn't really finish it, but the doctor could care less. The doctor just wants him up on stage because that's where you get the bread is buttered, you know, that's how the doctor's going to make money. And his doctor just wants, you know, Pink on stage. And, you know, Roger had the same problem too. In Philadelphia, he had food poisoning. And his doctor just gave him a bunch of shit for him to get on stage. And Roger said it was the longest 2 hours of his life being up there playing these songs. And he could hardly move his arms. And he thought that if it wasn't for the doctor and he would have took care of himself, he'd think it would have been a better gig for him. He thought the doctor made it worse. But man, I talked about this song enough, huh? Comfortably Numb. Damn epic, man. And I never get sick of that song. I can hear that forever. If I ever am around a radio and that song comes on, I'm keeping it on. And I will deck anybody that tries to turn it off. And that song goes into The Show Must Go On. And Pink thinks if he should go on stage, you know, even the worms, he's got these worms in his brain that are eating him alive. And he still wants to go on stage, but, you know, then when he's up on stage, he thought, oh, man, this ain't good. Just like how Roger felt in Philadelphia. But he said it was a nightmare being up on stage while the worms ate his brain. And but Pink, the rock star, saw no option. He thought, I got to go up on stage. He just had no way out of it. And he went on there. And I love this song. This song has kind of like a Beach Boys thing going on, kind of like a doo-wop thing, a throwback 50s thing. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And that goes into In the Flesh, which is the first song on the album, In the Flesh with a question mark, where this one's In the Flesh with no question mark. And Pink is on stage while the worms consume his brain and became a fascist dictator. He demanded his audience to follow him. Pink became the school teacher, that he hated. He became him. And he demands the people in the audience to suffer. I mean, his isolation turned him into what he feared and hated. And this was his way of taking rage back to where, it also has to do with Roger Waters on the Animals tour. He spit on a fan, and this song has to do with that as well. I mean, it's not the crazy fascist telling your fans what to do, but it did put him in a megalomania state where he thought he was above people, and he spat on a fan, and he realized then, damn, man, what the hell am I becoming? And that inspired him to start writing The Wall, actually. So that's what that's about, and it's awesome. Love it. It's like, are there any queers in the audience tonight? Get them up against the wall. And that one looks Jewish, and that one's a coon, and who let all this riffraff into the room? There's one smoking a joint, and that one's got spots. If I had my way, I'd have all of you shot. Crazy stuff, man. That's the rock star. The rock star can go out there and make people do what he wants, is kind of like basically what he's saying. And it's awesome. Love it. And that goes into, is it Run Like Hell? Yeah, Run Like Hell. This is the song. Love it. Don't get me wrong. I just think every song on this album's better. But I know some of you out there going, oh man, I love Run Like Hell. So do I, man. I'm no different than you, except for the part of me liking other songs more than this one. But this would be my least favorite on the album, and I love it. I still love it. And this one, it's Pink's on stage threatening the audience with physical violence, and on the other hand, he's telling people to kill the worms in his brain. It's like conflicting. It's pure paranoia on his part, and he's threatening, the audience, at the same time pleading with them to help him. Crazy stuff, man. And I love the song, don't get me wrong. I know I'm bashing it, but no, I think it's great. But I like the next one more, which is called Waiting for the Worms. And this one, the drug Pink that Pink's doctor gave him started to rub off a little. But he still, has some clarity and notices what he's done, and his isolation starts to make him rot. But at the same time, he wants ethnic cleaning. So in this song, he's threatening the audience, like, I'm killing all you that aren't like me. Kind of like a fascist, dictator. I mean, from the previous song onto this song, he's still feeling that way. But when the drugs wear off, that's when the song Stop comes from. Where the drugs have worn off, he realized all the horrible things he committed, and he's remorseful. He wants to take it all back. And he kind of can't in his mind. His mind is so warped. And I love Stop. It's just him and a piano. But it goes into the trial. Now this one I didn't know. I thought this guy went to trial. But he didn't. What it is that he is in trial, but in his brain. His brain is actually the teacher, the ex-wife, the mother, all of them in his brain are in the courtroom, and the judge and jury, everybody. And so Pink puts himself on trial as the Wall, and the judge and the jury and the witness all see him guilty. It's all in his mind, and the school teacher says Pink would not have turned into the guy he is if the teacher could have abused him more. And then his mother comes in and says that, I should have protected him more. But her protection made him worse. And then Pink comes in the song saying, crazy, Toys in the attic, I am crazy. And he realizes the wall turned on him and turned him into the school teacher. And Pink's ex-wife comes in and accuses him of, you know, have you broke any homes lately and stuff like that. And it's all in his warped mind. And, you know, like, and he did it all to himself. And it's him now realizing, you know, that the judge being a manifestation of Pink Floyd's mind, guilty, and demands him to tear down the wall, which is himself doing it, you know? He's like, fuck, man, tear down the wall. So they do tear down the wall. And you hear like the wall rumbling. And now it's outside of the wall, which is the last song, is where he finds people that care about him. But also show how people left him too, like his ex-wife while he was in the wall. And that goes out to all you people, man, that, you know, you do have a wall. You know, you suffer like some kind of depression or whatever. That's the moral of this. Outside that wall, there's people that care about you. And you need to go out there and have those people tell you how much you matter. Because you do. I'm telling you right now, you matter. You people that have a wall or depressed, tear down the wall. Seriously. I hope you have that, you know, clarification. You know, you get, just tear down the wall and have people that love you in. And the people that left you, hey, man, that's life. You know, the ex-wife is gone. But hey, you kind of like pushed her away with the wall, but anyway, that's the end of it. But it does go into like this little thing at the very end, a little, what you hear in the beginning of the album. But this one, at the very end, it says, right before the album completely ends, it says, isn't this, and it cuts off. Now, if you go back and listen to the beginning, it says, isn't this where we came in? It kind of makes the album a loop, because where it cuts off at the end, it cuts back in the beginning. And that's it, man. And I loved it. I love all of it. Even Run Like Hell. I love it all. I love this album. It's amazing. It's just a badass album. And who out there thinks this is the greatest album ever? Am I the only one that thinks that? Probably am. I know a lot of people say, Pink Floyd Animals is better. Hey, I used to think like you. But I smartened up. Just kidding. Kinda. Sorta. No, I am kidding. Omar Gutierrez, bro. You rock, my brother. And thank you so much for the donation. I hope you're happy with what I did. Because it took me like almost 2 hours to do all this research for it, man. So you better. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I hope so. I really hope so. And anybody out there that didn't know? Is there anybody out there? The whole story of it, I hope I let you all know. Because I did some research and I found out. So thank you again, Omar. You rock, my friend. And if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. So, stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a god.